Alright everyone, archived link in the description is just one of today's news stories. It's saying, yeah, basically everything Trump is under investigation right now. And they're sort of having a chuckle at that, saying Trump's under investigation. His family is under investigation. His associates, both past and present, are all under investigation of some kind or another. Not necessarily formal, but at least in an informal sense. Basically everything he's ever done is under scrutiny at all times and has been for 2 years. At no time do any of these groups find it slightly ironic that that's exactly the sort of thing that you would expect in a situation. There are two situations that would lead to that. Either I'm supposed to accept that Trump is 100% slime, that every lurid tale from the media, no less, about him is true, or the opposite is that he's being constantly harangued and harassed by a deep state that he himself was called a conspiracy theorist for suggesting even existed. But when I'm looking at people in the lamestream media making news stories about like the Cohen payments, that's old news. We knew about the Cohen payments a long time ago. We know the timeline. We know how much was paid to whom. Ever heard of Stormy Daniels, Michael Avenatti? This isn't even new news, but people are pretending like the fact that Cohen gets sentenced changes the game somehow, even though Cohen had a total falling out with Trump, and it's really funny, and they're expecting him to be, like, impeached for it. Or anything else, like Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn is mistreated, supposedly, allegedly, by the FBI, openly encouraged by Mueller's people not to have a lawyer present. And, you know, shifty shit happens. Now it's possible that he has no repercussions for anything he did because they mishandled the case so badly, to the point where the Mueller team is having to cough up documents relevant before he can even be sentenced. And he'll probably get zero sentence. This is a strange scenario in which the legacy media isn't willing to perhaps do a little bit of reflection and say, oh, we're writing all these stories about how every aspect of this man's life is investigated. And yet after 2 years, there's no solid evidence he's done anything wrong, or that anyone in his immediate inner circle, which is basically Roger Stone, his children and wife, and a few long-term business associates, none of them have been charged with anything. He looks like an actually relatively clean individual. I'll tell you what you're seeing. There's an old quote, show me the man and I'll find you the crime. If you investigate any human being long enough, you'll find that they've broken some obscure law. Probably felonious in nature. Look at all the people that have used drugs. And of course, like if they're running for office, they're not going to tell you that they took mushrooms, that they fucking made moonshine or something, but probably a large proportion have. The people in DC are slimy. It's a crooked hellhole. It's just like Wall Street or Hollywood. These power structures within this or any other country are inevitably full of people that have backstabbed their way to the top. I am unsurprised that if you investigate every aspect of Trump's life, having been politically connected, having been Hollywood connected, and having been certainly connected to New York development and everything pan-New York City, of course he's got slimy people he's associated with. Not surprised his lawyer broke the law. I'm not surprised that Manafort laundered money. But what you're seeing goes so far beyond the initial claim. The initial claim is that a bunch of Russians under command from the Kremlin infiltrated or influenced the Trump campaign. There's no evidence of that. The closest thing we have is that, what's her name, Maria Butina, who looks more like the Pink Panther or fucking Mr. Bean as far as her spying goes, than anything actually spy versus spy. Looks to have been a fairly bungled operation since she got caught in the first place. She basically fucked her way into a couple of NRA meetings. Talked to a couple of Republicans. Oh my God. Our national security will never be the same. It's terrible. Oh, you mean that there was a Chinese spy driving Senator Feinstein around for 2 decades? Nobody gives a fuck about that. No charges. No real investigation. Not a problem. The fact that Feinstein, I believe, is on the Intel Committee. No, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. She takes a potentially classified phone call in the same vehicle as a Chinese spy. Nope, nobody cares. Maria Butina goes in and screws some NRA heads or something. All of a sudden it's a huge deal. I find that very funny. But the media is pretending that all of these investigations fixated on everything Trump to the 5th degree, which have unlimited scope at any given time, that have carte blanche to do whatever they want. There's no abuse here. It's not odd. It's par for the course and it's normal. It's 1,000 times larger than any investigation that I can think of in recent history. And we've got some real humdingers there. Like, oh, Yeah, someone who ran for the presidency, Hillary Clinton, had a private, unsecured email server that may have been, by the way, tampered with by, I believe, Pakistani foreign agents at one point. I can't remember the name, mainly because the news never talks about them. It could have been hacked into by foreign intel agents or anything under the sun. Kept it in the closet in her fucking bathroom. Nobody cares. Yawn, go back to sleep. A few months later, it's like, nah. Anthony Weiner had access to some of this through his then wife. Nah, nobody cares. Yeah, Bill probably had access to it. Nah, nobody cares. Anyone else who visited the Clintons potentially had access. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, what about all those emails showing coordination between the Clinton campaign and the mass media? Again, nobody cares. Nobody's going to investigate. No, it's all right. America, go back to sleep. Trump, oh my God, money might have been misused by people who kind of associated with Trump years ago. Oh my God, it's a national scandal. It's not a national scandal. It's a bunch of nonsense. And the fact is that these people most of them are just lying. They're just refusing to reflect on the irony that they're making these stories corroborating Trump's idea that there's a witch hunt after him. Everything about him is being investigated, and yet he's not in a cell. It's fantastic. It's hilarious. He's a very happy man, I'm sure, having to deal with this day in and day out. That's about all. Peace out.